Johnny Warp with another Spotlight interview for our 2024 Marietta High School Athletic Hall of Fame, and joining us is Tom Baker from the class of 1960. I would say the great class of 1960. It's the class, I think, along with a 1979 that we hear about more than any other. And our first congratulations to you, and then I'll rifle a few questions at you. But tell us about the phone call and who you might have as a presenter, Tom.
Well, the presenter will be actually three of them. It'll be my three daughters.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yes.
And I think I heard, I saw a note from Beth a little while ago that she...
Yeah, Beth's our oldest daughter.
Oh, that's fantastic. And so for the listeners, class of 1950, Marietta High School, but give us the 2024 version of Tom Baker and Ellen, right? Oh, no, Ellen's another daughter, but Ann is your wife.
Ellen's another daughter, and Emily's another daughter, yeah.
Okay, and then Ann is your wife?
Ann's my wife, yes.
Okay. So where are you guys now, and how long have you been there?
We're located in Maumee, Ohio, which is a suburb of Toledo. And ever since I left Marietta in 1960, went to Bowling Green State University, had a great career there, and I stayed here. I was in education, so I started teaching at a school district called Anthony Wayne Local Schools. Actually, that's where I did my student teaching, and I guess they saw something in me, and they said, hey, we got a job for you. So I stayed on.
That's fantastic. And for the listeners, this class of 1960, the names will just pop when we go through with the guy we're talking to, Tom Baker. I see you're in the very first row of this picture I'm looking at, the very first guy, but Dick Wendelken, Steve Miner, Bob Warden, Phil Miner, Neil Gregory, Dick McKenna, Frank Christie, Phil Offenberger, John Matthews, Bob Fogel, Bill Miner, Gary Cheeseman, Paul Sewell, Dick Hoy, John Hadley. I shouldn't do this, right? Because you can keep going on and on. But, man, did you realize what you guys had back then, how good this team would be, still marked in the history books of time?
Well, you're at a pretty young age. I guess a lot of that notoriety doesn't sink in until you're a little bit older, especially when you get to be as old as I am. And, we had a great athletic career, both in football and basketball. And, if you go back and take a look, we had great track teams and great baseball teams, and I think we had some outstanding coaches that, made some of that stuff happen.
So, for you, football and basketball, so sophomore to senior year, and I want to hone in on basketball just for a minute because
sure.
We look back and see where you led the team in scoring and led the team in rebounding, or you see a headline that says Big Tom blocks another shot when we look back at some of the old paper clippings. Did you hang your hat on defense or offense, one more than the other? Were you like a shot block guy, or how did you go out? What kind of mindset?
Well, in those days, if you're going to play, you're going to play both ends of the floor. So, we were probably as good defensively in the same way as being an individual as I was on offense, Otherwise, you're probably going to be sitting over on the sidelines next to the coach. So, yeah. So I would say that, we did an outstanding job at both ends of the court.
And we look at these lineups stacked. I can't imagine when you start talking about the Frank Christies and Jim Farleys and Bob Wardens, and here we go again, Phil Offenberger and Bob Fogel. And beside your name, I see captain, and I can't imagine that somebody rises to the top, but obviously you did back then. What do you think it was that brought you to that, mark on your chest?
Well, I think a lot of that happens because in the junior year I had a pretty good career, and I think a lot of my teammates, look up to you and say, hey, you had a great career as a junior, and we hope that you do the same thing as a senior, and so we'll see that you become one of our leaders. So that was pretty nice. I mean, anytime your teammates make a selection and you become the captain or even a co-captain, that's quite an honor.
Marietta High School Athletic Hall of Fame induction ceremony is September 28th, and we'll also honor these 6 inductees in the Friday night football game on the 27th. We're talking with Tom Baker from the class of 1960 and the 2024 inductee into the Marietta High School Athletic Hall of Fame. We're going to take a quick break and come back with some more thoughts from Tom Baker, class of 1960, right after this. Johnny Wharf continuing our spotlight interview with Tom Baker, 2024 inductee into the Marietta High School Athletic Hall of Fame, and touch a minute, if you could, on if you channel a game, football, basketball, whatever it was, but one that here we are years on that still kind of pops in your head a little bit.
Well, I think we always had a big rivalry against Newark, and it was always, if you could win at Newark in those days, that's saying a lot. And I think a couple times we were pretty successful in doing that. So I always thought that, and I always had a lot of respect. Jim Allen was our coach, and I had a lot of respect for him. As a young guy, I didn't really know him that well, but I always liked how his team played and, how tough they were on defense. And they had some offensive guys, too. And so if you go up there, and they had a 3-lane track around the top, and they used to let the student body go up there during the games, and that was not fun playing there because you might be going in for a shot and something might drop on top of your head. So, and it wasn't always a nice thing. So, so it was tough to play there, tough gym, and the competition was always real tough.
All right, you mentioned Coach Allen. Who were some of the other coaches that you played for?
I played for, actually I started out at Norwood Elementary, and Coach Ross was my coach in elementary school. And then when I came to high school, then he became the head basketball coach and athletic director of the high school team. And I played, my JV coach was Chuck Stockner. He was a longtime football coach. Scotty Hamilton brought him in. And Buck Forshee was my junior high coach. So I had some good coaches, some good guys that had a pretty successful career at Marietta.
And then when I talk about those athletes on that team, anybody that you ran with in particular, in terms of being a close friend or neighbor, or anybody that maybe you grew up with playing any of those 3 high school years? Phil
Offenberger and I were pretty close, still are. We talk all the time. Another guy who was really a neighbor, and he and I used to have some battles during the off season, was Bob Bork. Bob was a long-time CPA there in Marietta, and down on Putnam Street. Frank Christie and I were friends, but when he went his way in college and I went my way with miles apart, we had some conversation. I saw him at a couple of class reunions, but we had good guys, and I think that's one of the benefits of high school athletics, that a lot of the guys you remain friends with, for the rest of your life.
Well, and the things you learn, I mean, you think about as you kept it going as a teacher, as a coach, as an administrator, and the list goes on from there. And I know you had the cheerleaders, right? 3 daughters and your wife kind of all along there, right?
Right, I did, And in fact, my one daughter, Emily, is in the Mommy Hall of Fame, Athletic Hall of Fame. So my girls were not great athletes, but they were good athletes. Emily was probably a little bit better than the other two, and she ended up in the Mommy Hall of Fame. So she actually beat her dad in.
That's fantastic. And then, and I can tell, I can hear the pride in your voice. But Tom Baker, our guest, class of 1960, and then it moves on now as a grandfather. So that's got to be a different way to watch a game as well, right?
Yep, I had my oldest grandson was a cross country and track star down in the Cincinnati area. His 4x400 relay team. Finished second in senior year in high school, so I had an opportunity to go to Columbus and watch him run. So yeah, you know, it was very rewarding. His sister, my granddaughter, she's a junior at Ohio State. She will be a senior. She's on the crew team, so we've had an opportunity to go to Ohio State and watch her row. So my two granddaughters here in town are both swimmers at St. Ursula Academy and got to the state tournament, so I get to watch them. And then the younger boys down in Atlanta, Georgia, with my daughter Emily, are baseball players. So yeah, so we got some athletes in the family, and you know, they've carried on the tradition.
All right. Once again, to be presented by Beth and Emily and Ellen, Tom Baker, class of 1960. Our congratulations to you, sir. Well deserved, and we appreciate your time.
Thank you very much.